Mussolini reincarnates in Brazil as a black child who can only move with his back turned. Find out more in this video. You've just joined the Haunting Online channel. Here we talk about all subjects involving the supernatural, and today we're going to talk about Benito Mussolini. To talk about where he is, we need to know who he was. For more stories like this, subscribe to the channel. Share this content. In the next episode, you'll find out where Hitler's spirit is. Benito Mussolini was an Italian politician who played a key role in creating and leading the fascist movement in Italy. Born on July 29, 1883, he founded the National Fascist Party and became Prime Minister of Italy in 1922. Mussolini implemented an authoritarian and totalitarian regime, abandoning democracy and establishing a government with centralized control. During his leadership, Mussolini adopted the title Il Duce, the leader, and promoted an ideology that combined elements of extreme nationalism, authoritarianism, militarism, a cult of personality, anti-communism, and territorial expansion. He supported a strong state propaganda apparatus and severely restricted freedom of expression and political opposition. However, his policies and alliances led Italy into a precarious position during the Second World War. In 1943, after the Allied invasion, Mussolini was deposed and imprisoned by the Italian government itself. However, he was rescued by German forces and went on to lead the Italian Social Republic, a puppet state controlled by the Nazis. On April 28, 1945, with the imminent end of the war and the defeat of the Axis forces, Mussolini tried to flee to Switzerland with his mistress, Clara Petacci. However, they were captured by Italian partigiani in Dongo, near Lake Como. In a summary trial, Benito Mussolini and Clara Petacci were sentenced to death. On the same day, April 28, 1945, Mussolini and Petacci were executed by firing squad. Their bodies were then taken to Milan and hung upside down in a gas station for public viewing. This event marked the end of the fascist regime in Italy and the fall of Mussolini, who had led the country for more than 2 decades. In 1935, Mussolini invaded Abyssinia, now Ethiopia, and killed more than 500,000 Africans, including using chemical weapons.
Itália tinha sido violada. Recusando qualquer interferência, Mussolini dirigiu todo o poder do seu exército através do canal de Suez para devastar o país indefeso.
Mussolini was responsible for several atrocities and thousands of deaths. He committed several crimes against humanity, and for this reason, when he left his physical body at the time of his death, Mussolini spent a period in exile in the Threshold, a transitory state or place where people who did not take advantage of the opportunity to evolve during their life on Earth pass through, or if you prefer, hell. Benito Mussolini reincarnated in Uberaba, Minas Gerais, Brazil, and lived in a hospital called Fogo Selvagem, Wildfire, in English. Lar da Caridade, popularly known as Wildfire Hospital or Hospital do Pênfigo, is a non-profit social assistance entity founded with the aim of assisting people with pemphigus foliaceus, a disease whose symptoms resemble flames that run through the body and leave real burn marks on the skin. In addition to this service, it provides shelter for children and adolescents at social risk, as well as adults and the elderly. The work also aims to promote the moral, intellectual, physical, and social development of its users. Benito Mussolini was compulsorily reincarnated as a black child who only walked backwards. According to the words of the great Brazilian spiritual leader Chico Xavier, "I'd rather be booed than applauded." Applauded for what? Can we not serve with sincerity? Why should we invade other people's fields? We're all original. We don't need to copy anyone. Then we reincarnate in a difficult situation, inspiring compassion in those who question divine providence because they can't understand the condition in which we return to our bodies. I feel sorry for the many children I see in great poverty. But what can you do? Here in Uberaba, at the Wildfire Hospital, there are many spirits who have fallen from intelligence. Benito Mussolini, for example, is there. He's a boy who can only move around, walking on his back. Mussolini reincarnated in this condition, probably to learn to love people. In the hospital where he lives, he received care from Dona Aparecida, the hospital housekeeper. On the day Dona Aparecida died, he went backwards to her funeral, and for the first time in his life, he turned around and cried a lot at her death, after which he went back to the hospital. For more stories like this, subscribe to the Haunting Online channel.